What's up, my fellow spiritual weird ones out there, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Tawny Michelle, and we are not all love, light, twin flames, and unicorns over here. So basically, before I get started, I do just want to say I am posting a lot on Instagram, and I finally made a TikTok and cave. I am on TikTok now, and I'm posting there daily, so if you don't follow me, go follow me and check me out over there. But I wanted to post this kind of like random video because I wanted to do a video this week. I'm trying to do at least a video every week for YouTube. I may start going live too sometimes if that's what you guys want to do. I don't know why this hat's like all jacked right now. But basically I wanted to do this random video and just kind of talk about some things that are on my mind today. How do I want to put this? Basically, I don't think that we, there's some major things happening basically, and I wanted to get on here and just talk to you guys from a spiritual standpoint instead of from a fear standpoint, because I feel like so much of us have been in fear. No matter where you stand with what's going on in the world, there's just a lot of fear, you know. Everything is about fear. And at some point you just get to a point and you're like, okay, if the world ends, I don't care anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you just get to a point where it's like, you're so used to it, like you're almost immune to it. You know what I mean? It is kind of a liberating feeling. First, I want to talk about astrologically, right? I knew, and I've been talking about it for way before the election in the US happened, you know, because I know people are going to take it there because it's all about that. And it's all about sides and division, even though it's, you know, everybody's saying they want unity, but it's just more division. Like, let's divide. I've been bringing this up for 2 years now, that 2020 and onward, for the next, you know, few to several years, we are going to see a major breakdown of what we know and what we're normally comfortable with. You know, our lives have changed in so many ways all across the world. We're all going through this, you know. That's the one thing that unites us all, other than being human. We are all going through some kind of major change with the changes that have happened in the world. I think it's just, you know, we're so focused on division and what side are you on and this, that, and the other. And I really feel like that's the problem, you know, like that is the issue, because it's all about, look what this side did, no, look what this side did, let me turn you against this side and turn you against this side and make you scared. I'm not just saying that on one side, it's all of it, and it's been going on for way longer than just, you know, this past year. So I just feel like this is a time where I really do hope that, you know, something gets better. I really do hope that things kind of smooth out, and I think they will on and off for a bit, but I also do know what's coming, and I also do feel what's coming. And if you're tapped in at all and you feel things too, then I'm sure you know that this is likely still going to get worse before it gets better, like I said in my prediction videos. We still have a lot of things coming up ahead of us that, you know, that we haven't seen for hundreds of years. We have a lot of things happening, and, you know, astrologically speaking, intuitively speaking, economically speaking, it's all just a lot, and I get it, and I know it can be a lot, and I don't ever want to come on here and, you know, scare you guys with things. And that's why I even told people on my Instagram, when I post stuff to my story, I'm gonna put like a trigger warning if I feel it could trigger people that are already in a state of fear. Only because I feel like the trigger is more of a reminder, like if this is triggering you, then it's time to back up because you're in fear. You know what I mean? And I feel like all of us are in so much fear right now that we are fighting desperately to control the things that we can't control, to try to change the things that we can't change, to try to control other people, to try to call out other people, cancel other people, you know. And it's just all a clash right now. So like in spirituality, and this is why I wanted to make this video, it's about going within. And I've had to remind myself of this too. I'm not perfect either. I've had a lot of moments over these last several months where I've been like, whoa, you know, because I see a narrative and I personally go and like look up what they're talking about, or look into the actual facts, or look into what was actually said, and it's completely different than the narrative. And it's really surprised me to see how many people don't do that, how many people just go for it. And I know not everybody's into spirituality or astrology or knows that Neptune is squaring the nodes, and the node is in Gemini and the south node is in Sag, and you know, I get that, but still it's like, very shocking how much influence that words and media and all of that can have on people. And so I got into kind of states of fear myself, you know what I mean? And I've had to do a lot of work on that because I could tell. And you know, I'm pretty self-aware, I would say, not trying to brag or sound like a Leo rising or anything, that I am, but I would say that I can tell when I'm starting to get, you know, obsessive, or when I'm starting to, that's all I'm starting to think about, or when I'm just, you know, in a state of fear, and it sucks, you know, and that's when we really have to go within. And that's why I wanted to make this video, because I feel like right now, if you haven't already been doing work on yourself, now is the time to start. It is the time to mother effing start, okay? It is the time to start doing the work on yourself. Spirituality is great and all, you know what I mean? But spirituality involves work. It does. It involves growth and work on your part. You know, you can only blame your outside circumstances for so long before you go within, right? You can only keep expecting your outside circumstances to change for so long before you realize maybe it's the way that you're perceiving it. You know, maybe it's the way that, maybe it's a belief system that's not really true, or that's not really helping you anymore. Maybe it's your own fear that you're projecting onto other people. And this is what I really wanted to talk about in this video, is like, there's a saying, right? That you become what you hate. And that's so, so true. And if we look at what's going on in the world right now, you can see that everywhere. In my opinion, I see it everywhere. And you can see that even in examples like movies, you know what I mean? At what point does, let's say, a police officer in a movie cross the line to get the criminal, right? And go against the law to get the criminal in the first place, right? And then and then they become a criminal, right? So the more hate that you're spewing towards, whether it's one person or a group of people or a political party or other people, you know, it's like, that's you. And if people are attacking you with hate, and this is something I've had to remind myself of because I've gotten a lot of crazy shit these last few months, but if people are attacking you with hate, that's also something within them. And I know that can be very hard to remember, but when you start doing the work yourself, you start really realizing, like, oh, they're projecting their own shadow or their own fear onto me. Because we become what we truly hate. And that's what hate does to us. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard the saying, hate is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. And that's literally what it is. Hate and resentment do that to us. They really do, like, block our energy and turn us, it's like a poison in our body. And that can actually grow into something more physical as time goes on, like physical pain or illness, whatever, I believe, at least. And so this is a time where it is so crucial to do the work on yourself, because what we are about to step into, vibrationally speaking, is a time of a lot of wanting things to be a certain way and wanting all people to be a certain way. And there's a lot of that going on. It's like, you know, it really is Saturn and Uranus squares. And I'm not saying this based off of some belief system. I'm saying this based off the history of Saturn and Uranus squares. It forces us to progress, but there's also a strong resistance. And there's also a strong kind of out of the box, unorthodox kind of methods that come with it. We're dealing with some weird energy here with Aquarius, right? You know, we're dealing with some weird energy that deals with society and humans and societal systems and evolution of humans and all of that, all the stuff that I talked about in my Great Conjunction video. So we're dealing with this kind of push-pull on conforming and trying to, you know, find a new normal, or breaking out of our shell and rebelling and doing something that's going to bring us more freedom. And there's not one wrong or right answer here. You know what I mean? Because both can have their more positive and negative effects. And you know, one of the first things I learned on my spiritual journey was about right and wrong and good and bad, right? And what is it? Is there like a list somewhere? Is there like a hidden, you know, like what is it? Because it's different to each person. It's based on perspective. So then is it real? If it's in our minds, is it real, right? And so when we're judging as something as right or wrong, we are basically dismissing the fact that maybe it's not. Basically, I know I sound like a total Libra right now. Go me. You know, another thing that has been really hitting me lately, I had a prophetic dream months and months and months ago. And I want to say it was like last year in 2020, maybe spring or summer. And this guy came to me and he was like telling me all these Bible verses. And I'm not a big Bible thumper, so, and that's how I knew like it wasn't just like a normal dream. And it felt very real. And he was kind of going over all these different Bible verses, and he kept saying something about a false god. And I was like, I don't get it. What is it? What is it? And he kept saying Bible verses, and I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't get it. And he was like, the false god is basically, and this is not word for word how he said it, but it was along the lines of, the false god is thinking that God is only one thing, that God can be put in a box. And putting God in a box means that there's restrictions on what God is and what God can do and what God isn't. And he was telling me that, and I've like refrained from sharing this because I felt like he wanted me to share this, but I don't know why I refrained from sharing it. I did share it on my Patreon a long time ago, but basically he told me that God is everything, from the lowest of the lows, tragedy of the tragedies, to the highest of the highs, miracles of the miracles. And I was seeing different things as I was seeing like visions of really horrible stuff, and I was seeing visions of like really amazing stuff as he was telling me this. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like I get it. You know, I kind of already knew that, but it was just, I already knew it, but you know when you already know something and then you like hear it again, it's almost like it hits you for the first time all over because it's so powerful. And that's kind of what happened. It was just really, really powerful. And I was like, wow, okay, I get it. I 100% believe that. And I think a lot of this is us thinking that, you know, it's all humans, but we humans are also a part of God, or whatever you want to call it. I normally don't even call it God. I normally call it the universe because I believe it's all connected in some way. You know, we're all energy and it's all connected, source, all of it. We're just here in a human form, experiencing life through a human lens. And from the worst of the worst to the best of the best, you know, that's what it involves. And that's what spirituality is to me in general, is being able to embrace both, being able to eventually learn from both and embrace both. And that's what I try to help people do. And I try to help people see the things within them that they don't see, because that's what spirituality is to me. It's authenticity and it's freedom. And you get freedom by not being controlled. And part of that control is fear. Part of what controls you is fear, is resentment, is hate. When you hate someone, you give them power, because hate is a very strong emotion, right? And when you hate somebody that much, you start giving them power. And that's why you start becoming them without even realizing it. Happens all the time. And to hate somebody, you also have to have a little bit of them, because you are who you dislike and you are who you like. I'm not who you think I am. You are who you think I am. And you're not who I think you are. I am who I think you are, because it comes from my mind. Does that make sense? There's actually a quote I posted a lot on Instagram that says that, I'm not who you think I am, you are who you think I am. That's how it goes. And right now there's a bunch of people that are projecting their own way of thinking, their own shit onto other people. And I feel like there's moments where I get very discouraged and I'm like, damn, like we're in a really hopeless state. Like this is pretty fucking bad. Like I don't know how I'm gonna help anybody here. But I also remember that a lot of the things that I see, like they're not even in the spiritual community or whatever, you know, and other days I'm like really passionate. I'm like, I want to help. I want to do this. I feel like this is part of my purpose. And this is another thing. We are going through some major historic times right now. We are going through a whole entire damn purge of this entire world. That doesn't mean we're all going to die. That doesn't mean like we're going to cease to exist. I'm not saying the world's ending. It is ending in a way, but not in the typical, like, you know, the world's going to just blow up or something. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it's ending in a way of how we've been living, and that's why this past year of 2020 has been so hard, because we've been stripped of a lot of things that we relied on, and we've been forced to sit with ourselves. We've been forced to go inward. We've been forced to find ourselves. And so this is a great time, instead of looking at it as like, oh, I wish I could go to work, or oh, I wish I could, you know, go out to eat, or oh, I wish I could go get my nails done or my hair done or go shopping, or whatever it is, whatever you used to do to distract you from your own spirituality, your own connection. Start looking at it in a way of like, oh, well, what did I learn through that time? What great things came out of that time that would have never came if none of this would have happened? You know, like, what can I do with this time? How can I start connecting more to myself instead of the outside world? Don't be afraid to delete your social media if that's what you feel like you need to do, or just take a break from it if that's what you feel like you need to do. Don't be afraid to connect to yourself. And that's like the biggest fear of all, I think, that we have in today's world as a human race, of being alone with ourselves, because a lot of people are their own worst enemy. And if you look at the way that things have went down, I think it's pretty clear that we've all been forced to sacrifice things that went on for too long and that could no longer be sustained. It's like everything was just built up on straws and they're all crashing down. And I feel like within our society and within, you know, the leaders of the world, like, we are purging all of the grimy corruption, dirty shit that no longer aligns with us, because we are being kind of pushed eventually to a higher form of consciousness, to a higher way of being that does not align anywhere near what we were just living in for like the past, you know, decades, centuries, whatever. Right now, the best advice I can give you, that if you're in fear, work on yourself. Face the fear. You don't have to go anywhere to do that. You can go right inside of you. And a really good way to do this is to imagine the fear. Worst possible case scenario of your fear, start visualizing it, and your body will start reacting. You'll feel it. You'll get tense. You'll get emotional. And allow yourself to feel it. Breathe into it. When you feel ready, let it go. And really, truly ask yourself, is there anything I can do about this? If there is, then why aren't you doing it? If there isn't, then why are you stuck on it? You know? And another great thing to do would be to watch my shadow work video. I went super in depth with that video with my friend, and we did a whole part 2 on his channel explaining our own experiences with shadow work. So this is the time to do the work on yourself, because the universe and the world is ascending into a place, but for it to do that, it is sweeping shit away. And so hopefully you got something from this video. Let me know down below if you did and you would like more kind of random videos like this, just talking about shit. I'm working on the 2021 predictions videos. I know I'm still so late. Just these last couple months have just been really busy for me in terms of work and reading and stuff like that. So, but I love you guys. Make sure to follow me on my other social media platforms, which will be linked down below, if you want to keep up with me on a day-to-day basis and see what the hell is going on with me. And yeah, I will see you guys in my other videos. Bye.